What if the world's next economic superpower was brought down by its own destiny? This is not just a story about football. This is
Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are diving into the history of a country that is a complete paradox. When you hear the word Argentina, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? For most people, it's football, it's Maradona, it's Lionel Messi, it's the iconic blue and white stripes. But what if I told you that just about 70 or 80 years ago, nobody associated Argentina with football? Back then, the global conversation around Argentina was entirely different. People looked at it as the next global superpower, a nation destined to rival or perhaps even surpass the United States. Yet today, when we talk about economic giants, we think of the US, Switzerland, Germany, or Singapore. Argentina is nowhere near that list. So what happened? How did a country with the potential to rule the world become a cautionary tale of economic crises? Let's unravel this strange and fascinating history. To understand Argentina's rise, you first have to look at its map. Argentina is massive. To give you some context, it is the eighth largest country in the world. But unlike many other giant nations that are mostly filled with unusable deserts or frozen tundra, Argentina was blessed by nature. Most of its territory consists of the Pampas, vast, incredibly fertile grasslands that stretch for thousands of miles. If you were a farmer in the late 19th century dreaming of the perfect land to raise cattle and grow crops seamlessly, you were essentially imagining Argentina. And around the mid-20th century, as global urbanization accelerated after World War II, millions of people worldwide left their farms to move to cities. They stopped growing their own food and started buying it. This created a golden opportunity for Argentina. They became one of the world's largest exporters of agricultural goods and staple foods. Their beef became world famous, money was flowing in, and Argentina became incredibly wealthy. When a country becomes wealthy, it naturally attracts people. Today, we see immigrants moving to the US, Europe, or the Gulf nations for a better quality of life. In the early 1900s, Europe was facing hardships, and Argentina was the land of opportunity. People from Spain, Italy, and Germany migrated to Argentina in massive waves. The country was extremely welcoming. This heavy migration turned Argentina into a unique multicultural hub. In fact, if you listen closely to Argentine Spanish today, you can actually hear the distinct rhythm and cadence of the Italian language. By the early 20th century, its capital, Buenos Aires, was a bustling metropolis filled with grand architecture, high culture, and elite European and American investors. It was the Dubai of that era. So how did this paradise slide into instability? To understand that, we have to travel back to the 16th century when Spanish settlers first arrived. Interestingly, the Spaniards were initially disappointed with Argentina because, unlike Peru or Mexico, there was no gold or silver, just empty land. So they largely ignored it. However, as maritime trade grew in the 1800s, Argentina capitalized on its strategic waterways, like the Rio de la Plata, growing rich purely on trade. But here is the ultimate twist in Argentine history. For most nations like India, Ireland, or many African countries, colonization was a period of brutal oppression, and independence brought relief. For Argentina, the chaos actually started after independence. When Napoleon invaded Spain in 1808, Spanish control weakened, and by 1816, Argentina declared independence. But without a central colonial authority, a series of fierce civil wars broke out. Different regional leaders fought brutally for power and land. This in turn